And we're back to some more New York Rangers franchise mode in FHM 11. And in this one, we have the offseason of year number 10 as we just had a brutal third round exit to the Detroit Red Wings. And now we are faced with some decisions to make because as we take a look at our upcoming FAs, you have Bjork, Helenius, Villeneuve, Lindberg, Väisänen, and Darren Nielsen. Those are the big names. Everyone from Hemmerling and down is going to get released. So Hemmerling, he spent this past year in the AHL and he's looking for almost 3 mil. No thanks. Reeder wants 2.6. Once again, he's in the AHL. No, thank you. I mean, I guess we could sign Ziegelov. He only wants 1.3 for 2 years as a backup goaltender. That's not bad, but we need to save all the money we can here. Then Niemela wants 1.3. I think I'd prefer to move in a younger direction anyway. And then Bonk, he wants 4.6. That's a little too much for a 2-star ability. Only had a 61 defensive grade. And then Braden Schneider, he wants 1 mil for 2 years. He's at a 1.5-star ability now. I think we'll release him. And now for the bigger names. Väisänen wants 8.3 at a 2.5-star ability. I don't know if that's going to... that is a little much. And then you have Darren Nielsen. He wants 3 mil for 3 years. He wasn't terrible this season. He had 30 points. He had 55 the year before, though. Although that might be because of increased ice time. Let's see. Actually, no. He didn't have too much more minutes last year than he did this year. So I'm going to wait on Darren Nielsen. Villeneuve, I think I do want to sign. He only wants 4.6 for 3 years, and he was really good defensively, 69 defensive grade. He's got a 3-star ability, 26 years of age. He had 93 hits last season, 130 shots blocked. He looks like someone I want to keep around, so we will get him extended here. I'll start at 3.8. And I managed to get him down to 4.35 for 3 years. Lindberg, he wants 6.5 for 3 years. He's a decent defensive defenseman, but I think we're going to hold off on him for right now. Helenius, he wants 7.8 for 2 years. The thing is, he only had 22 points last year, so I don't know if I want to give him 7.8. Viggo Bjork, he wants 8.4 for 5 years. I mean, he's certainly simulated like a 4.5-star ability. Or like a 4-star ability, rather. 28 points in 34 games played, 73 grade, 38 hits in that time, 107 shots as well. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to do it. He's a really good player. And I got him down to 7.72 for 5 years. Definitely doing that for him. All right, Viggo Bjork and Xavier Villeneuve have signed their new contracts. So now let's take a look at our finances and see what our cap obligations for next season are looking like. As of right now, we have 18.2 remaining in cap space. Although I don't know if I trust that because right now it says we have almost 10 million in cap space when we're currently at almost 87 million. And your 2033-34 Stanley Cup champions are the Detroit Red Wings, who of course beat us in the third round. This is their 12th Stanley Cup and their first of the franchise mode. They went through Columbus, Ottawa, your New York Rangers, of course, and the Minnesota Wild in 7. Oh, well, looks like we're not re-signing Lindberg anyway. He wants to test the market. Yeah, I don't think we can give this to Väisänen. That's way too much for him. It's way too much for someone of his skill level. I mean, he's decent, but I'm not paying him that much. Yeah, he had a 59 grade, only 28 points in 43 games played. Yeah, Väisänen can walk. So at this point, I think the only one who I'm still considering is Helenius, but 7.6 is quite a bit, especially for a guy who only had 22 points last season. Yeah, I think we're going to part ways with Helenius for right now because that's I can't justify giving him that much for the season that he just put up. So I think all these guys here are going to be released to free agency. And now let's simulate up to the NHL awards. All right, here we are at the NHL awards. For the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Maurice Richard, it is Connor McDavid, 37 years of age, still getting it done. 53 goals, 64 assists for 117 points. For the Lady Byng, you have Matt Boldy of Minnesota, 41 goals and 93 points on the season. Then for the Bill Masterton, you have Nathan McKinnon, now in Philly. He had 14 goals and 43 points this season. For the Mark Messier Leadership Award is Nikita Artamonov of your New York Rangers, who does not even have an alternate captain. And then for the Jennings Trophy, you have Carl Lindbaum of New Jersey, who had a .923 save percentage this year in 67 games played. And now for the Hart between Hughes, Bedard, and McDavid, it is Connor McDavid, of course. And for the Conn Smythe, it is Lucas Raymond of Detroit with 35 points in 23 games played. My goodness. For the Calder between Jack Dennis, Carl Andruk, and Zach Beaudry is Jack Dennis of your New York Rangers with 29 points in 76 games played. Really? So you're saying Jack Dennis was the best rookie this year with 29 points? Interesting. And then for the Norris between Ronnie Rowe, Leon Shires, and Adam Fox, it is Ronnie Rowe of Detroit with 64 points. For the Selkie between Ridley Greig, Ruan Bayashov, and Simon Lundgren, it is Rawan Biashov of New Jersey with 48 points in 82 games played. For the Vesna between Adam Gagin, Carl Lindbaum, and Igor Shesterkin, it is Carl Lindbaum of New Jersey. For the GM of the Year between Nathan Oistrik, Eric Joyce, and Jason Carmenas, it is Eric Joyce of Vegas. And for the Jack Adams between Joel Ward, Rob Brindamore, and Phil Sullivan, it is Phil Sullivan of Detroit. All right, now let's take a look, see what prospects we're signing. I'd say we'll sign Oddman. He's only 20 years of age, already a 1.5-star talent, and all the rest of the guys who have signing deadlines can get released. Now, Gabriel Wickstrom, he's a 2-star ability at 19 years of age, 3-star potential. He has some good ratings in there already, so I think we will sign Gabriel Wickstrom. And here is our 2033-34 season summary. We reached the playoffs, had a winning season and winning percentage of 600 or better, and met our objective. Longevity bonus of 9, financial health bonus of 1, total season score 34, total career score so far of 243. 6 available points. I will max out player motivation, and then I'll get discipline up there to 18. All right, now we're on July 1st, so let's take a look at our roster and see what we need. We have Vinny and Ruggiero in goal still. I mean, to be honest, I'm all right with that. Both of them did well last season. Vinny had a 910 save percentage during the regular season in 71 games played, and Ruggiero in 14 games played had a 908. Then, of course, we could also call up Ivanov, who I had to send down because Ruggiero had a temporary no movement clause, so I couldn't send him down, and then I didn't want to send Vinny down because he was doing well. Then on defense, you have Willander, Villeneuve, Dennis, and Cole, so we need 2 left defensemen and then 1 more defenseman after that. Then at forward, you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 at forward. I'll send Oddman down. So in terms of numbers, it looks like we're set at forward. So we really just need to focus on defense here. So let's see who's out there in free agency. You have Testa and Scantlebury as the gems out here. Unfortunately, neither of them are defensemen, and it seems the best defenseman currently available in free agency is Seth Tansom, the 3.5-star ability, 19 puck handling, looks like an offensive defenseman. Oh, won't be well liked. There's also Prudhomme and Nemetz, but of course we're looking for left defensemen. So Prudhomme, really good offensive defenseman, got a decent defensive category as well. Let's see, controversy will follow. I mean, honestly, as long as they're not won't be well liked, at this point, I'm willing to give a pass for a couple players who have controversy will follow on their personality because, you know, we're pretty late into this GM mode now, and I think we do need a defenseman like Prudhomme. So I'm willing to give him a pass, assuming he doesn't want too much money. Because I think having him along with Villander and Villeneuve and Dennis and Cole would be really good. So let's just see how much he wants. He wants 6.1 for 3 years. That's not bad. My only concern is how much he's going to potentially go up to. So I'm going to take him, I'm going to say to 6.75 because we need to be able to afford 2 more defensemen, right? Someone else who I think could also be pretty interesting is Cameron Reed. He played for Vegas last season and had 37 points in 74 games played, 68 grade, 128 hits. Got a pretty good physical category, 17 speed, 19 stamina, can stay out for there for a while, 18 passing, and some solid defensive ratings as well. So I'm liking the look of Cameron Reed. Let's see what he wants. Really, only roughly 3 mil for 3 years. I will definitely do that. See if I can take him to 3.75. And then let's get one more. Braden Thompson here. He's 26, 2.5-star ability. Great passing rating at 20, 18 puck handling. Got some decent defensive ratings in there. Only heading at 12, but that's okay. That's his only rating that's not so great, but is still acceptable. Mental ratings are good. Physical ratings are decent. Good personality. And last year in the NHL, he had 13 games played at 6 points for Winnipeg and a 58 grade and 15 hits. So he shouldn't be costing us too much, I wouldn't imagine. Yep, he's only asking for 1.5. I'll give him 1.8 for 2 years. So assuming all 3 of those guys signed at the prices that we just offered them for, that should take us to roughly maybe 84. So we should still have a little bit of wiggle room to make more moves if necessary. I'm also going to take a look at the trade block just to see what's out there. How did they sign Lucas Sweden for 3.7? He was asking for like 9.5 before when he was in free agency. Because he, for the most part, has been really good in this save file. So I think with that being done, there's not much else to do except simulate ahead and see if we get our guys. All right, time for the draft lottery. Picking at number 16 is Colorado, followed up by Winnipeg, Montreal, Calgary, Dallas, the Islanders, LA, Washington, Winnipeg, Toronto, Philly, Boston, Vancouver, Toronto, and Chicago at number 1, followed up by Carolina. All right, it's time for the draft. We have 2 5-star potentials available in this draft and a 4.5-star. And then after that, it falls off to 1 3.5-star, 3 3-stars, and then the rest are 2.5-star or below. Oh, this is it looks like outside the top 5, this is going to be a brutal draft for depth. We are not picking until number 30. I am not expecting anybody to be available by then. At least not anybody worth note. So let's see, is there any trade we can make to potentially trade up for a higher first? Maybe Ivanov? Nah, we don't really have the assets to do that though. We don't really have the assets. I would say the most we could do is maybe try to move up from 30 up to maybe the low 20s using a 2nd round pick as well. But even that in this draft is questionable at best. And we're definitely not getting into the top 5. There's no way we're trading into the top 5 with the minimal assets we have. So let's just sim the first 5 picks and see what happens. You have Richard Shanahan going first overall to the Chicago Blackhawks, followed up by Connor Bone to Carolina, Clint Mitchell to Toronto. So 2 goaltenders in the top 3. At number 4, you have Jason Kindrachuk, who was supposed to go at number 90 and goes at number 4. At number 5, you have Bob Warburton going to Boston. So there's your top 5. Now let's go through to pick number 10. Chance Smith to Philly, Mike Labe to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You have Craig McGlynn to Winnipeg. You have Zach White to Washington. And you have Anthony Wright to LA. So we're at pick number 11 now. Martin Mrazek is still there. I mean, he's apparently supposed to go at pick 120. I'd be willing to trade up to number 11 if possible to get him, because besides him and maybe a couple others, it really does not look like there's too many other guys who I'd be interested in here. So I'd be willing to trade up to number 11 if it meant getting Mrazek. So that is the Islanders and then Dallas and Calgary in that specific range. So let's see if the Islanders are willing to give up their pick here. All right, you know what? You can have a first, a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. not that I care in this draft. Offer trade still. Okay, I'll take off the 5th. I'll give you a 4th for next year. Still not working. I'll give you a 3rd for next year. All right, I mean, that works. It may be a little bit on the extreme side, but it works. And it would allow us to get a 3.5-star potential player, which I doubt we're going to get with any of those other picks, including our pick at number 30. And let's just get one more look at him. I mean, he's got a decent offensive category for our half-star ability. Got the AC scouting grade, 64 grade last year in Slovakia. I mean, we may as well do this. It's not like we're going to get much use out of these 4 picks right here anyway. And then as for next year's draft, who knows, right? But based on what we've seen, there's a pretty good chance it's not going to be good. So yeah, let's do this. Finalized trade. There you go. So a first, a second, a third, a 4th, and a 3rd for next year in exchange for the 11th overall pick. So Martin Mrazek, welcome to the New York Rangers. There you go. And now with that, we're on to the 5th round at pick 158, and there are nothing but 1-star potentials left. So let's skip the rest of the draft. And there you go. We got all of the free agents we approached in Reed, Prudhomme, and Thompson. And as expected, we are around 84.5 million in salary cap, meaning we do have some wiggle room if need be. But I think this will be our roster heading into the year 11 regular season simulation. So in goal, you have Vinny and Ruggiero. On defense, you have Willander, Prudhomme, Villeneuve, Dennis, Thompson, Reed, and Cole. And at forward, you have Tomek, Bjork, Nadeau, Artamanov, Venberg, Ryabkin, Barkey, Marinochkin, Cataford, Kyla, Larson, Johansson, Arvidsson, and Wickstrom. Oh, look at that. Hellenius has taken his price down to 4.7 for 1 year now. At this point, though, I don't think I'm going to do that because I like the wiggle room that we have right now. I like the breathing room that we've given ourselves on the salary cap. And besides that, we got a big name to re-sign next year. Tobias Tomek is up for an extension. What does he want? He wants 6.8 for 3 years. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll just get him out of the way right now. And we got him for 3 years at 6.45. And then there's also Willander, who's currently making 6.2. He wants 8.2 for 3 years. Ooh. Yep, these players are getting expensive. I mean, he's good. He's certainly worth that. But my problem is wondering if we're going to have enough in cap space for that. So I think for right now, I hold off on Willander, and we will advance to the Hall of Fame inductions on August 1st. And into the Hockey Hall of Fame this year are Eric Carlson, Claude Giroux, Steve Duchesne, and Pekka Rinne. Oh, right, we had Kozlov in the minors. We may as well call him up, see what we can do in the preseason. And we need to assign a new alternate here, and I think it's going to be Oscar Venberg. He was very good for us last season. 66 points. He had a breakout season. 67 grade, 108 hits, and he's now at a 3.5-star ability, so I think I will give him that alternate number 2. So just before the preseason ends, I think I'm going to send Wickstrom down. But besides him, this will be our roster heading into year number 11. Vinny and Ruggiero in goal. Willander, Prudhomme, Dennis, Villeneuve, Thompson, Reed, and Cole on defense. Then at forward, you have Tomek, Bjork, Nadeau, Artemanov, Venberg, Ryabkin, Barkey, Marinochkin, Cataford, Johansson, Kyla, Larson, Kozlov, and Arvidsson. So that being said, let's get the year 11 regular season simulation underway. All right, so we are on November 1st. We're currently 8-3. I believe first in the division. Yes, indeed. So honestly, I think we can keep going here. There's not really too much to worry about. However, I will point out the goaltender situation in that Ruggiero in 9 games played has a .925 save percentage. Unfortunately, Vinny in 2 games played has an .873. So hopefully he can get that up there. See the team stats quick. Goals for per game, we're currently 4th with a 4.18. And goals against per game, we're currently 8th with a 2.91. Faceoffs, we're 11th with a 50.7. Power play, we're 1st in the league with a 36.4. And penalty kill, we're 16th in the league with a 78%. So there's a couple of concerns, mainly the concern of Vinny. But besides him, we're looking pretty good right now. So I think we'll just continue on. Whoa, Brent Clark is on waivers for Detroit. I mean, we don't need any defensemen right now, because I like our defensive core the way it is. I mean, of course, you got Cole, who's getting better at a 2.5-star ability now, 5-star potential. Dennis is getting better, 3.5-star ability, 5-star potential still. So I don't think there's any reason to mess with our defensive core currently. So I will not be claiming him, but certainly interesting to see him on waivers. Okay, we're really seeing some interesting players getting waived now. Gabriel O'Brien, a 3.5-star ability forward, has been waived by Minnesota. Currently has 14 points in 18 games played at a 66 grade. And it's not like his contract is even all that bad either. In fact, that's a great contract for a 3.5-star ability. If we weren't already doing really well as a team, 15-5 currently, I would definitely consider that, but I don't want to mess anything up as far as the roster chemistry goes. So I'm going to pass on that. But Gabriel O'Brien, certainly another very interesting player on waivers, along with Luka Radivojevich, also of Minnesota, with a 3.5-star ability. But once again, I'm not looking to mess with the roster chemistry here, so we're going to pass up on those guys. But teams are certainly being a little careless with their place of players on waivers here, it seems. Okay, what is with all these teams placing all these players on waivers? Like, Buffalo has 6 players on waivers right now. 2 of them are Vlasov, the 3.5-star ability, and then Neighbors, the 3-star ability. What is going on over there in Buffalo where they need to... Oh, man, look at that. They have 4 absolute studs there who are 4.5-star ability or above, and then a 4-star ability as well in Dahlin. I guess that is what they need to do to get under the salary cap, but still, that's kind of crazy, though. Waving 6 players at once like that. Okay, we are on February 1st, and we're doing something amazing with this team, let me tell you. We're not only first in the Metropolitan, but first in the league, 39-9-5. It is February, and we still do not have 10 regulation losses. And quite honestly, this team is looking pretty special. 214 goals for, 149 goals against, 65 differential. I mean, I know the season's not over, but this is a very impressive run for your New York Rangers. I won't go too in depth, but we'll take a look at the goaltender stats. .925 save percentage for Ruggiero, who has for some reason not played in quite some time. It doesn't look like, no, he has not played since December 9th. So I would imagine Vinny has been very hot since then. 34 games played, .913 save percentage. That is very different from how he started the season, as yeah, he's been in basically every game since December 9th. And he appears to be doing very well. Then a look at skaters. You have Bjork with 52 points, leads the way. Fantastic waiver pickup. Then you have Ryabkin and Nadeau with 47, 46 for Artamanov, 43 for Venberg, 40 for Tomek. We're just seeing so much depth scoring here. Willander with 36, 25 for Marinochkin, Cataford, Dennis, and Villeneuve, and Barkey, and Thompson all with 23. And then Prudhomme with 21, Larson with 20, 18 for Cole, 17 for Kyla, 14 for Reed and Johansson, 13 for Kozlov, 7 for Arvidsson, and nobody at this point in time is injured. So we're honestly looking really good here. Let's take a look at the team stats. Goals for per game, we're first in the league with a 3.92. Goals against per game, we are third in the league with a 2.77. Faceoffs, we're fourth in the league with a 51.7. Power play, we're fourth in the league with a 24.4. And penalty kill, we're second in the league with a 83.8. So I don't know what we're doing differently this year. I mean, I guess we did have to release quite a few players, but I never imagined that we would have this kind of season. I mean, I know we did have a good season last year as well. We had a 51-win season, and of course, we made it to the third round, but I was not expecting to have less than 10 regulation losses in February. And you know the feeling you get when a team is just really good and you believe that they're going to go all the way? I'm getting that feeling with this team. So let's make our way to the trade deadline. And I don't think we'll be making any moves at the trade deadline, but yeah, I guess you never know. We'll see what happens between now and then, but I'm really not anticipating doing much. And there it is. There is our 10th regulation loss on the season. We did not get our 10th regulation loss until February 9th. Although, unfortunately, we are starting out February on a bit of a losing streak here. So that being said, let's just finish the rest of the month and see what February brings us. All right, well, at the trade deadline now, we're the first team to 100 points and not much has changed. So I think we just go right past the trade deadline and into the playoffs. And here we are at the end of the regular season. We have finished first in the league. We win the President's Trophy 57-17-8 for 122 points. 332 goals for, 232 goals against for 100 differential. Let's take a look at the final stats for the season. In goal, you have a 922 save percentage for Giro in 25 games played. Looks like he got a few more games played in there between now and the last time we checked. And then Vinny, in 59 games played, has a 911 save percentage. And now the skater stats, Vigo Bjork leads the way with 86 points in 80 games played, 45 goals. Artamanov with 74. Tomek with 72, Ryabkin with 70. Love to see the step scoring. Nadeau with 67, Venberg with 65, 53 for Willander, 50 for Prudhomme, 38 for Marinochkin, 37 for Cole, 36 for Villeneuve, 35 for Cataford, 34 for Larson, 32 for Kyla and Barkey, 30 for Thompson, 28 for Dennis, 20 for Reed, 19 for Johansson, 14 for Kozlov, and 12 for Arvidsson in 25 games played. This is the best I felt about a team so far in FHM 11. I mean, that goes without saying given our record, but still, even not looking at our record, this is the best that I felt about a team because of how much depth scoring we have. There's not a single passenger on this team right now. Everybody is performing up to their par. So honestly, I'm going to say it, this is our best chance to win the cup. This year is absolutely our best chance to win the cup. This team has been phenomenal all season long. I never once had any reason to worry this season, and that might be a first. I think that's a first in this GM mode because everybody has just been on it, right? Every single player on this team has been on it this season. Then of course you have young players getting better. Jack Dennis is up to a 4-star ability now at 21 years of age. He's only gonna get even better. Bennett Cole, 21 years of age, up to a 3-star ability now. So the future is looking bright here in New York, and not only the future but the current as well. The present day is looking amazing. And now let's get a look at the team stats. See where we finished. You have a 3.95 goals for per game. We finished second in the league there. And goals against per game, we finished first in the league with a 2.78. Faceoffs, we finished first in the league with a 52%. Power play, we finished second in the league with a 23.5. And penalty kill, we finished second in the league with an 84.7. I'm telling you, man, this team, I'll just say that the expectation for this year is no less than a cup. No less than a cup. This team it's got everything. We have everything we need to be the Stanley Cup victors this year. It's got to be this year. We have absolutely everything. This team is as good as it's ever been in this franchise mode. We have to win it this year. I will be extremely disappointed if we get anything less than the Stanley Cup this year. And we'll be facing the 44-30-8 Boston Bruins in the first round to start these playoffs. And before we end off this video, I of course want to thank our channel members for being so supportive and generous. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one where we go through the playoffs with your President's Trophy winning New York Rangers.